Nobody's coming to save me. Nobody knows any better anyway. And I think we're thinking the same thing. If this is how it ends, I wasn't listening.
I'd never been skilled with my hands in terms of painting or drawing anything. And music felt like a world that I really belonged in. I like to say that I'm not actually very good at any one instrument, but I can work my way around all of them, and that can kind of make up for my lack of expertise on one. To me, the fastest tool at my disposal is the one I'm always going to use. One of the greatest things about music production software, Logic Pro, Ableton, is they're incredibly accessible and affordable for kids now. Anyone that has a laptop or an iPad is making a beat whenever they want to at whatever age, and that's awesome. To me, the most pared down version of a studio is just a microphone and a computer. You can even use the actual keys as controls. You can play a whole part on the keys themselves. So you can do a lot with just a laptop. There's been conservatively 100 million songs written and recorded with just a voice and an acoustic guitar. So then it's how can I shake up something there and make it sound a little new? So it became my goal to always just be experimental and try different approaches to things. And I thought, I'm never gonna make everybody like a song of mine, but if I can get everybody to agree that they've never heard a song like the thing that I'm making, then that to me is 100% a success. The most common way for me to write songs in my life thus far has been sitting at an instrument, an acoustic instrument, a piano or an acoustic guitar. I've always loved that palm muted, I just love that sound. So chunky and nice. It's I just love the way that sounds. So I didn't want to do a ton to it. It's a really minimal amount of tracks. And I say minimal, but there's 75 tracks. It's a very sort of traditional instrumental landscape. It's acoustic guitars, it's electric guitars, electric bass, programmed drums, but drums that sound like just live drums, live rock drums, and then vocals and harmonies. And then I put in a couple of really floaty synths on top of that, which are these things. That's a sound that I've been using for a long time. I found it years ago and I just thought it was great. And you can tweak little things. You go into retro synth and you can look at all the parameters and change it a little bit, but that sound's been on a ton of my records. I liked the way my voice sounded really dry, but I was I wonder if there's some way I could because it's sort of a song about technology and our kind of symbiotic relationship to our phones and stuff. I was I wonder if I could make it sound like my voice is coming through an old radio and it's not quite making it all the way. So I used this really cute plugin called Sketch Cassette.
For no reason at all, or else I suffer withdrawal.
All the electric guitars, electric bass, acoustic guitar, that was all actually recorded, but the drums are all just faked. It's kicks and toms and a snare fill, play them on MIDI keyboards. I'll find a sound that'll be a great kick sound in some song. And then it's about adding compression, adding some EQ, adding some distortion to that, putting a noise gate on it so that it cuts off in a really exciting way. And even then I'll be let's try another kick on top of that. So there's a lot of layering on the same, one snare hit might be 5 or 6 different sounds of a tight snare and a really rattly snare. Because that stuff to me really shows. I think when you have great sounding drums, you're on your way to having a great sounding song. Claps are real. Just clapping. The vocals, dozens and dozens of different takes.
Nobody's coming to save me.
I think screamed on the second half of that. And to me, that finally had this kind of that has a real weight to it.
Somebody's calling you out for something you never said. Kinda can't wait to be dead.
I don't know that I really could have told you what the song was about when I was writing it. It wasn't until later that I realized that the song Can't Wait to Be Dead was really about kind of like my relationship with the internet this year. There's something so kind of overwhelming about the amount of content you're being fed. And then you're seeing like terrible tragedies happen all the time. It's very overwhelming for me, at least.
If this is how it ends, I wasn't listening.
It's like by and large a kind of a like pessimistic worldview, which doesn't necessarily like reflect my worldview, but I was trying to do it in like a funny way, which I think, you know, Can't Wait to Be Dead obviously is like a total joke. Like I really have, there's a lot of reasons I love my life. As a songwriter, you can express something that someone else can't express themselves. That is such a powerful thing to do for somebody. The thing I would hope to inspire kids to do is to just make the art that they feel the most interested in making, and I think that art will find an audience. You may not be good enough yet to have that art find an audience, but I think just continuing over the course of a couple years to make what you're passionate about will pay off in a way that nothing else will ever pay off. I make music to share my life experiences with people and to connect with them.